Welcome back. When we're trying to lose weight, it can be very, very frustrating. Sometimes it feels like nothing really works to get rid of them there love handles. So here to give us some better options, Dr. Barton from Fargo Metabolic Center is back on the show. Welcome back, man.
Thank you for having me.
So just give us some background on why the Fargo Metabolic Center exists, what your mission is.
Yeah, so when I was 21 years old, unfortunately, I found myself doing CPR on my grandfather. He was a type 2 diabetic. He'd just been to the medical doctor about 5 days prior, given some medications that would help control what he had going on, but ultimately it wasn't what he was needing at that moment. And so for the last 15, 16 years, I've been on a mission to identify how can we help those individuals, not just the ones who unfortunately passed away, but the ones such as myself that have to deal with the aftermath of, you know, you want that family member that you just can't touch and hold anymore.
So do you mean you specifically work with like type 2 diabetes individuals, or?
That's the majority of what we see is type 2 diabetic, but a lot of anything that has to do, and those people that are out there understanding what metabolic syndrome is, that's really what we're gearing towards, is those individuals. And the ones that are looking to lose that 20 to 50 pounds is a really fun category for us to help them with. Can we go beyond that? We can, but initially we need to have some type of starting phase.
So you say you've been focused on this for the last 15 to 16 years. I presume you've learned quite a bit over that time frame. Yeah. What have been some of the most important things you've learned that if we can incorporate into our lifestyle can make a big impact?
Some of the biggest things and what studies are starting to show up is, you know, right now there's a big fad in doing a lot of shakes and boxed foods and things such as that. And what they're finding is that the metabolic system actually works by actually chewing, digesting. There's a lot of energy that goes into actually chewing your food and the body having to metabolize it that way versus what nowadays is just drinking something and it going through the system. So metabolism is all about energy.
So walk me through this. So what should I be eating? More does it matter? And then just as long as I'm chewing it? Or?
More rich, dense foods such as your proteins, your vegetables, and your fruit. And those are the really things that we key in on. And we have scientific evidence that backs that up.
Man, I haven't heard that one for a while. That was fascinating. So for people out there going, hey, look, this sounds interesting. What makes you guys unique? What's going to make sure that this program actually works for me?
Yeah, so we do detoxing at the same time that you're doing fasting, and then you only get about 40 days to actually lose the weight. Then we put you on a stop period, and that stop period puts you back into where you have to eat more food again, so your body's not constantly getting exhausted from trying to achieve those goals, and it's working on science and not just what we think is best for you. And then when it's all said and done, you actually get a genetic profile that allows you to know exactly what types of foods and certain categories and the serving units that you would need to sustain that healthy lifestyle moving forward, so you can't get lost through the journey of life.
That sounds awesome. So give me an example. I mean, like there's some foods that I know when I eat those, I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't have that, but man, that tastes good. So is that kind of what this program will show me? Say these are the foods that really work for your body? Or?
It'll show you the categories, and then it'll show you the serving units in the categories. So for example, many people that you would ask them, you'd say, how many calories a day do you think that you should eat? And the average number is 1,500 to 2,000. Well, there's actually many categories of food that when we ask them questions and say, well, how many categories would you put towards vegetables? How many categories would you put towards protein? How many towards fats? As we keep going and asking those questions, they run out of calories with about 2 categories left. And so that tells us that they're guessing on where they're at. And if you continue to guess, you're going to get unpredictable results.
Great stuff, man. How do people get a hold of you?
They can go at our website at fargometaboliccenter.com or call us at 701-364-CORE.
Thank you, Doc. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All right, stay with us. Much more coming up right here on North Dakota Today.